Good Hunata Ugakwakunun Northwood. No North Hundrita Kuigilam.
Guigilinguk means no river, but there is a river here in Quig. The older people tell a legend about how this river came to be.
Kuigiluya Harlutin Kuiglutin. Di Don Patamuna Yatsukuyao.
Many years ago, when Eskimo people first came to this place, there was no river, and so they named it Guigilinguk. A young girl who lived here lost her bead necklace in a nearby lake. She was very unhappy, and so her father drained all the water out of the lake to look for the necklace. The water that was in the lake turned into a stream which grew bigger and bigger until it finally became this river. Alaskan Eskimos are American citizens. Anchorage is the biggest city in Alaska. Bethel is the biggest town close to us, with about 4,000 people. Quig is about 1 mile from the coast of the Bering Sea. We're old people that were always there. The white people say that Eskimos come from Asia, but the older people don't believe it that way. They really believe that they were there all the time. The first missionaries and the traders who came to Alaska made these old movies, 45 to 50 years ago. That's me watching that movie, and that was my son Dennis. The kids from Quig really enjoyed watching the old movies. We're making this movie so that the younger people can know how the older people used to live and how we're living now. My name is Elsa Jimmy, and I'm from here. I've lived here in Quig ever since I got married. That's my husband, Peter Jimmy. Peter was born here in Guigilinguk. I work part-time as a bilingual teacher in the high school. We consider ourselves modern Eskimos because we're not living the way we used to long ago. The white people think that all Eskimos live in igloos, but that's not true. You know, I've seen those in pictures, but we don't have those in Quig. Guigilinguk has about 30 houses, 2 schools, a church, and a little post office. The young people in Quig are growing up in 2 different cultures, the white culture and the Yupi culture. I was brought up all in Yupi culture. I didn't know anything of the white way, and I didn't even understand any word, you know. My mom spoke all Yupik to us children, and we were all brought up on all Yupik ways. In those days, they used dog teams and boats to travel with. In the Yupi culture, we depend on nature for food and the things we use. We call this subsistence living. We get our food by subsistence hunting. We get our food from the river. We really like our own food best, and we feel unsatisfied if we have to eat white man's food all the time. We have 2 stores here in Quig, which are run by the people here. Everything is so high because most of those things have to be flown in by air. Williati is our storekeeper at one of the stores.
The relationship between the subsistence and this store fit together. They go together. Cash economy and the subsistence have to have them both. Take, for instance, sugar. They don't go out and get sugar from the Tundra, so they still need what I have to sell here.
Very often the weather is bad and the planes can't land, and the stores run out of practically everything. So then we have to depend almost entirely on what do we catch ourselves. The seasons are mostly the important things because we do different things in different seasons. When summertime comes, everybody gets ready to go fishing. In those old days, the men used to go by kayaks and they have to paddle away, but nowadays you can use a motor. Here David Friend and Roland Philp are dragging their net to catch whitefish. Brian is Roland Philp's grandson, whom Roland took along so that Brian can know how to fish, when he grows up. Summertime, we mostly catch salmon, and then we prepare them just like they used to do in the old days. This lady is cutting up the salmon. She's splitting it through the back and slicing it up. And the knife she's using is called an ullok. And here she's putting a stick over it so that it can spread out easily to be hanged out on a rack. Frida Beaver is walking towards her smokehouse. That's the kind of a smokehouse we smoke our fish in. You have to smoke the fish for about 3 weeks in order for them to be really good. And you have to check that every day so that they can be nice and have that smoke flavor. This is Katie Abugiak. She probably is here to help Frida Beaver do the fish. Roland Philp is taking his whole family so that everybody can help gather leaves and roots from the tundra. And that's practically the only time we get fresh vegetables. We call those plants orchak. There's a lot of those pesky mosquitoes, and you have to wear a hood because they just come all over.
Eat that!
Here Roland is picking edok from swampy area, and the only thing you eat is the root part of it.
We eat with oil, seal oil better.
Agurak is our favorite dessert. Some people call it ice cream. Doris Hope is making agurak and she's adding the plant that she gathered. You have to add the other ingredients like all those kind of fruit prunes or dried prunes.
Brian, ja. Nog eens kan chicken.
Tepiska.
Kan je doen? Jam gitu kasih tu.
Kripat pikai. Wait.
Siya na ayun.
The last part of August, the weather gets really wet and it gets kind of chilly. We start school in August.
Page 2.
They look at me like that.
Very good. Denny? So there's this part right here. Aksa. Tummy. So you draw.
Our kids speak mostly in Yupik. When they enter school, they go to this bilingual class where everything is taught in Yupik. Marianne is teaching the Yupik class to the little kids. My first education was at the children's home. When we were brought there, all the kids were speaking English, which I didn't even know. My younger sister and I were kind of isolated. It was a total different culture than mine because there was a lot of different things white people did than we did.
There were a lot of you guys that really helped out and did a good job at that, and I was real proud of
The elementary school here at Quick is a BIA school, which is run by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. In their fourth year, that's when they enter the English class.
Okay, how could we make the balloon a little bigger without putting more air in it?
By heating.
Everybody, how can you make the balloon a little bigger?
By heating it.
By heating it, that's right. What else did they find in there? They found something in there that was pretty interesting. Does anybody remember, Emma? Letters? Just a second, what was it, Emma?
The parents want their kids to learn in English because what do you do if somebody offered you a job and you don't know how to speak in English? Certainly you need some kind of an education to get a job here or anywhere. I have 4 kids and I'd like for them to learn in both ways. In school they can learn how to speak in English, but I think they learn more by watching, either watching Peter or me.
No sweat.
We buy store-bought toys for our kids. But besides that, there are some games that they used long ago, and those are the games we teach our kids. I'm teaching Alvin and Dennis how to do string games. We call this string game aha in our language, and I guess you call it the cat's cradle. I learned most of those string games from my mom. She used to sit there and just teach us those string games. Some of those are really telling stories. Ja, dus aanzoeken, wat moet.
Wat na je
Ook zo naar zoek.
Maar una wat na je
Okay, kijk ik naar wat ook. Dennis is making a fishing net. The elder people say that nowadays the kids are different. You know, they don't really respect the elderly people. But then, to me, they're dealing with 2 different cultures, and it's really hard to do both ways, I guess. Long time ago, I think they got married. When they were still young, they even got married, like even they didn't want to, just when they were mature enough. They really respected their parents, and the parents were the ones who made the choices. But nowadays, they can just wait till they're ready, and which I think is nicer than being, forced.
Parents aren't as strict as they used to be in the old days. Around here, most people know everybody, and in their later years, they get interested in the person they like, and I guess they ask to see him or meet him at a certain time, and they get acquainted and they go steady, and then they get into courtship and marriage.
They get married and then they get divorced. I don't know. Nowadays people are getting, modern. In the fall, the grass turned yellow. The young ladies gathering grass for grass baskets. The ladies have to make those baskets and sell them because they have no way of making any living. You can get a basket from around $100 to $200. There's a lot of work to it, and maybe that's why the ladies sell them so high. A long time ago, the ladies sent in their baskets to some white people so that they can sell those baskets for them. The older ladies are also teaching the young women how to sew those baskets. In fall, they all get ready for winter. The men are busy fishing for tomcats.
Once upon a time, there was the old woman and her son and her lazy daughter.
This is Lucy Lewis telling stories with a story knife. While you're telling a story, you're illustrating it in drawing. Those story knives were made out of ivory, but nowadays the young girls use kitchen knives. When you have a girl, most of your kitchen knives will be gone because she will be taking them out to tell stories with.
Hey girl, clean up this house. And then the lazy daughter said, I don't want to clean up this house, it's too legal. We have no broom. Son, go dump the honey buckets. I don't want to. And the old woman said, I'm going to hit you with the stick.
Nowadays, people are making their houses bigger than they were before. and they're more comfortable than the ones a long time ago. But it takes a lot of fuel oil to heat them. Here we see old mud houses which they used to live in long ago. Those mud houses were dug down in the ground. These were called qazigis. They used to heat those by bringing in driftwood. It must have been cold. The ladies stayed at their homes. The men and the young boys stayed in the qazigis. The ladies just brought in their food.
قدزيمي تماني ختيق فان قدزيني تيق قريخ بغني تيو مكة مقيلة خد تايلوكيخ بمختن مقيخ خاغلتن نبتانا زليلتن بيتشاتن تكي قلتن تاي قدزيمي تلون كيخ ستقلخاني قيخ كي قلتن يكم غاليلتن تات بيتشاتن تا زليلتن كيخ ستلخانالين تايلون لغن تكتلين نغلتن تات بلسخت.
Nowadays, all the people have their own homes and they all live together with their family. Charles Philp is Roland Philp's older brother, and he's one of our leaders.
Everything changed. 1946, I get these things like stoves, oil stoves and range, electric stoves and propane stoves like that. A lot different than what I make that time. Jumping on the oil drums.
Charles has been working with National Guard for quite a long time.
0139 0139 5959.
Charles' wife, Mamie, is making a grass mat.
0139 5959. I hunting. Summertime I fishing. Besides my job, I fish. Even everything all over change. One never change. He is our Lord.
Most people in Quig belong to the Moravian Church, but some of the people are Russian Orthodox. The first Moravian missionaries came around late 1800 to early 1900. That's the time that people really started believing in Christianity. Church activities are really important to us. Most of us try to lead a good life in order to lead those young people. Alcoholism is one of the most important problems in Alaska, but that's not a big problem in Quig. It's illegal to bring liquor into the village, and that's enforced by our village council. Before the missionaries came, the older people used to believe in supernatural things, but mostly, they used to really believe in shamans because they could either bring bad luck or they can bring good luck or they can heal a sick person. The old dances they used to do long ago describe some certain stories, or they tell a certain shaman things that was part of their religion. Missionaries stopped their dancing because it kind of interrupted their service. They still do those dances in some of the places, but certainly not in Quig. A long time ago, people were buried sitting up in their coffins, and they were placed right on top of the ground. When they were dead, they put posts over their grave and they put all their belongings there because they were no longer used. These are posts that were put above the dead people, and they were put up there with little figurines in memory of the people. Now we bury our dead underground in a cemetery. We live near the ocean, and when the wind starts to pick up, the tide goes up fast and the water rises. We have heavy wind, and that's when the water really hits. This year we had kind of a worst flood, and during this flood most of our field drifted away, and that's when the water got into most of the houses, destroyed most of their food, and all the sidewalks drifted away. We were all isolated because the planes couldn't land there. The governor had to call that a disaster area. The next day, the men were all busy putting all the sidewalks back together again, both the young and the old pitching in.
The sidewalks in the village got washed across the river or different places, and we asked the whole village to pitch in and help us put the sidewalks back where they were. And that took 2-3 days, and that was greatly appreciated by the council. My name is Fred Phillip, and I live in the village of Guilnuk, and I am a member of the village council, and my position is vice president. Winter time, our main source of travel is by snow machine. The kind of fuel that's mainly used in the village is heating fuel and also gas, and that's used mostly on the outboards and the snow machines that we have in the village. Present fuel situation in the village is that we're having a shortage. Some of the people are practically out. What happened was during that flood, some of the fuel barrels got washed across the river or washed out to the ocean. I think we probably had pretty close to 200 or more barrels that were lost. Those will probably never be recovered. What we're doing is that we're getting a loan for both gasoline and heating fuel through the state. They bring it in bulk containers through the air freight businesses. Villagers bring their drums to where the plane unloads, and they in turn distribute fuel to the people in the village. How would we cope in the future years if we continue to have fuel shortage, or if the cost of fuel keeps going up where some of the people can't afford it? It would be a pretty bad situation if we can't get any fuel. Probably freeze.
Winter time is really harsh. I really don't know what would happen if people can't afford to buy fuel anymore. It would be awfully hard to live in those little mud houses or going back to dog teams again, because we're not used to those anymore. In the winter time, it's really hard to get fresh meat because there's none available. Those are reindeer. They used to have those in the old days, but nowadays we don't have them. When the reindeer were here, we used to have fresh meat. I'm very sorry that they're not here anymore. Maybe some of them ran away with the caribou, or the wolves just ate them, or the herders didn't care so much anymore. Almost the only fresh food we get in the wintertime is blackfish. We still fish for blackfish just the way we used to do long ago. That's Peter Atwood, and he's taking out his trap, which is made out of wooden strips. And the blackfish just get in there through the opening, and they get trapped in there. Not everyone sets those traps for blackfish, only the people who are not working. Whenever we catch anything, we all like to share it with people because that's the custom we're keeping. A long time ago, the land didn't belong to anybody, and so everybody was free to hunt wherever they wanted to. After Alaska became a state, the government said they owned the land. They made so many rules that we have to go by. When these new regulations and laws came, the people were afraid that they would lose everything. And so the government agreed that the people can have title to some certain areas and set up land that the people can choose from.
Adjudication are now completed on lands to be conveyed to your corporation. When I live my young Iluku, I cannot Kadabu, Tamatri. Kun, my kun I can kun, Keka.
Kaisika stam gunak hindi mapiti. Stam gunak pitag chukke apatuman ritak. Makayam.
If you were given land, would you ask them to give you some mud? BLM ask you if you have any land coming to you, and they offer you some mud floods, would you take it? No. That's what they're doing. They're offering you some land, some mud along the coastline here. That's what they're doing to us. And we don't, I myself personally don't go for that.
There's not many steady jobs right here in the village. There might be a few of the temporary jobs like construction. Most of the men have to get out of town in order to work, like in the summertime when they go commercial fishing. We would like to have more jobs. That way the men can stay home and earn living for their family. Long time ago, the men used to make money only by trapping animals and selling them to the white people. Nowadays, everything is going high, so they have to look for jobs in order to survive. They're building a high school for Guigeluk. The money came from the state. Some of the temporary jobs are earning quite a lot of money, but when the men are working, they don't have time to hunt or fish.
Yeah, I was thinking about going subsistence hunting, but now they're paying me for 15 days work. I got paying after taking everything out. I received $1,400 so far. I have to hunt too for subsistence. Considering the inflation and the way that we're hearing about the stove oil, the oil of the stove going up real high, I consider I'll be using lots of money to pay for the oil, and I get confused. In the old times, we used to work a lot harder, but everything was free. In thinking of inflation, I think the old time is better in looking back to inflation, but to the work, I consider right now's time is better than the old time with less work.
Spring doesn't come all at once, it just comes gradually, where the sun gets warmer and you can hear the birds flying overhead, and you can see the ice and snow melt, and the ice starts to flow away to the Bering Sea at the mouth of our river.
The best part of spring is it's the chance to go out seal hunting, and that's what most men do. Is in springtime is they go out seal hunting. They hunt walrus, spotted seals. If it's weather's really calm like today, we'd start out as soon as the sun rises, as soon as it gets light. Go out down to the ocean by use of snow machines, towing sleds. That's in case you catch seals. And soon as we get down to the ocean, we take the boat off the sled, put it in the water, put the outboard motors on it. We use the whole day to hunt. That's if weather permits. We stay down there till it's dark.
I think all the ladies worry when their husbands are out hunting, because some time ago I heard that 10 men, were lost out there. But that time, they used to travel on kayaks, and nowadays they travel fast. But still, we worry when they are out hunting. This year, 4 men got lost out to the sea. Everybody got worried, and so the next morning the helicopter went out there, and the helicopter brought them back to safety. It's really dangerous out there on the ice because the wind can pick up really easy, and the men really risk their lives when they go hunting.
Some days when we go out, we don't see anything, and we don't head back to the village just because we don't see anything all day long. So what these older men taught us is that if water's calm enough, we travel mostly around the ice floes. You might see one surface, but after it dies, you won't see it again. We don't know where they go.
They kind of get together and tell each other what they saw or what happened. When you wear something white, the seals hardly notice you.
Sometimes if we go out seal hunting, like today, we'd be traveling down around the ice floes all day long. We won't even see not even one seal. I tend to feel bad myself some days because my mom and dad, most of the time they depend on seal oil. It's the main thing. I like it myself too, and everybody likes seal oil, seal meat.
Sometimes they can be lucky and bring home a seal, and that's when the ladies have some work to do. Jean Cook and Mrs. Brink are cutting the seal up. We use almost all of the seal. We use the skin, the fat, the meat, the intestines. Eliza is going to make a CB call to the villagers saying to come and get your portion of the meat, so that everybody in the village can have a share of what they caught.
Kuiling min nangan nakitoko kit star kakamakpati.
138893.
Roger.
Jean Cook has been here all her life, and this was when she was young. Jean Cook is cleaning a seal in a different kind of way. Sometimes we use the seal guts to make rain parkas. The older ladies in Quig make those raincoats.
These raincoats are much better than the Kazakhs. It's much lighter. The natives like those seal cut raincoats because it's warmer than other raincoats.
When we start the raincoat, we begin with a piece at the back of the hood.
From here. And put this thing first when we measure.
Then, to measure the opening of the face, we double that first strip and add the hands width.
We added this. And then when we measure the sleeves, we measure like this. I think that's all we measured that.
Albert Beaver is putting on his silk raincoat.
Yus komiso pawan takamata kawa katah kamtanok ko bagme chais kami sa suiling nga anak kuchit sumakun to mas sutat kanik cham kain ngani.
Even the stomachs get used. The stomach of a walrus and the stomach of maybe a big seal can be used as a storage bag. But first you have to clean that really good. You can clean it better when it's turned inside out. Agnes John is blowing the stomach up so that she can clean the outside part. She's tying it so the air won't come out. After you have cleaned it really good, then you hang it out to dry. They have to use it in order to store berries, or they store their oil in. During the seal hunting season, if a boy catches his first seal, then a celebration has to be given in honor for the boy. He's become a man and he can go out like a man does. We call that a throwing party. The name of the throwing party is Uqiquk in Yupik, and the way that's done is the women buy stuff from the store and then they invite all the women and the girls to come, to that party. And then when all the ladies and the girls are there, she goes on top of a higher place like the steam house so that she can look down, to throw her stuff. And the first thing she does is like she may throw something special. She's throwing this for this certain occasion. And so that's the first thing she throws. And then after that she can just throw whatever she has. It's mostly for boys. I haven't heard anybody doing that for girls. It's an old custom, but it wasn't like this. They cut the fat part of a seal into little strips and then gave them to people.
1, 2.
The snow is gone by the end of May, and then our summer activities begin all over again. Peter is getting ready to go visit relatives upriver.
They're in the streams. That's how...
Henry Vaughn is giving us some fish that he wants to send to his relatives, to the same village we're going. And they in turn send us the things that we don't get up here in Quig. We do that because that's our custom. Henry is our leader.
This is one of our custom, and we've been told that not to do that, but nobody's going to stop us. We want to keep it continue, and by doing that, nobody gets rich. And I wish that some our what do you call it? Our senators down in Washington D.C. and other high-ranking people understand that how we're doing up here, because it hurts us sometime that what they're doing, because not knowing what we're doing up here.
Albert Weber is one of our oldest people living in Quig, and he's one of the respected men. The old people are worried of how their young people will be in the future.
I'd really like to move somewhere, like a bigger city, find a job there, go to school.
I'd like to live in Creek because I was born here in Creek, so I can go hunting, fishing, and do whatever I want to do.
Mostly the parents would like their kids to live up here in Creek so that our culture won't vanish. But kids have more choices than they used to. I wish there were more jobs here in Creek so that the kids can just stay here and work. As long as we have people in the village and as long as we keep our language, then we'll be able to maintain and keep our culture. That's what we all want.